right, in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to easily create a holiday candy cane text effect using Photoshop, obviously. We'll start by making a seamless repeating candy cane pattern with red and green stripes. Then we'll learn how to apply the pattern to our text and how to combine it with layer styles to create rounded, shiny candy cane letters. At the end of the tutorial, we'll learn how to copy the candy cane effect and instantly apply it to as many type layers as we need. Um, all right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to create that candy can pattern. Um, so we're going to create a new document. It's very important um, that we follow this to the T. Okay, in the new document dialog box, we'll set both the width and the height to 200 pixels. So make sure you set it to pixels first. We're going to go 200 by 200. So we're creating a square document, and the resolution needs to be 72. Okay. Um, the background contents need to be white. And then we're just going to hit create. So make sure you hit pixels first, 200 by 200, 72. Okay. And there we have our text, our blank document. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. Just hit Control plus. There we go. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to select that rectangle tool. It is right down here, not the elliptical or the rectangle marquee, the rectangle tool. That is a vector tool. Okay. Vector, remember, is made out of lines, and we've discussed that. It's made out of lines and mathematical equations. It is not raster graphics. It is not pixel based. Okay. So we're going to make a nice smooth pattern with this. Okay. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we create on the top of the option bar here, we're going to use shape. Okay. Um, make sure the tool mode is to shape. Make sure that the color is red. So we're going to go ahead and click on here, red, and we're going to make sure that it is um, the hue to 350. So this one is going to be set to 350. The saturation is 100, and the brightness is 75. There we go. Okay, so we're going to use that red right there. We're going to hit OK uh, and make sure that we have no stroke. So we're going to go right here and make sure it's selected no stroke. Perfect. So how we're going to draw the first shape is we're going to create right here. We're going to click on our document and we're going to create a rectangle, and we needed 40 by 300 pixels, 40 pixels. So we're going to go right here and we're going to 40. And then this one, we're going to switch to 300. Okay. All right. Set the width to 40 and the height to 300, and then click OK. All right. So there is our first rectangle. Okay. Then we're going to free transform, go to the center of the shape, go to the edit menu, and we're going to select free transform path. So edit free transform path right here on the top. Okay. We're going to select the center. Okay. Which is from the center. Okay. Is the center box. All right. Then we're going to change both the X and Y to 100 pixels. So the X right here is going to be 100. Then the Y is going to be 100. Okay. From there, we're going to change the angle to 45, which is right here. 45. Okay. And then hit enter twice. This operation will turn a live shape into a regular path. Continue. You hit yes. There we go. And we can see that the first shape is now centered and rotated in the document. Okay. And we will have our first candy cane stripe. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to hit Control Alt T or Command Option T to copy and move the shape on your keyboard. So we're going to hit Control Alt T. So Control Alt T. Okay. This makes a copy of the shape and reopens the free transform path command. You'll see the free transform box and handles around the shape. To move the copy of the shape into the upper corner of the document, go up to the option bar and change the X and Y value to both 0. So we're going to, instead of moving it by hand, we're going to go up to the X and Y. It's just like a grid. We're going to make 0 and the X 0. X and Y both 0. There we go. and gone ahead and moved it. Okay. Press enter once to accept the new settings and again to exit out of free transform path. So we're going to hit enter twice. Perfect. We're going to go ahead and make another copy. Okay. And then we're going to change the location to 200 pixels. So we're going to hit Control Alt T, and then we're going to go to here and press 200, and then the Y at 200. And now we've created the third shape, okay, in our candy cane pattern, okay? So you're gonna hit enter twice to exit out of the free transform path. And what you'll notice here is that they're all on the same layer, and that's what we're doing. We're creating these shapes on the same layer, okay? Okay. Now we're gonna create a new smaller shape, okay? So we've added some of the larger stripes. Let's add some smaller ones. Click inside the document with the rectangle tool to once again open the create rectangle dialog box. This time set the width to just 4 pixels and the height to 200. So now we're gonna click in here and we're gonna set the width to 4 pixels and then this height to 200 pixels. We hit OK. And we'll see we have that new stripe. We have another long stripe, but this time it's a very thin stripe. Okay. Here we're going to go again to the edit free transform path. Okay. And we're going to put it at 50x. The x location will be 50 and the y will be 50 and the angle will be 45. We're going to go x and we're going to hit 50. Y will hit 50 and then the angle will hit 45. And there you go. And you'll hit enter twice and you'll hit yes. All right. Once we've done one, okay, we're going to create another one. All right. And then we're going to add do the same thing. We're going to duplicate it and put it in transformation, Control Alt T. Okay. And then we're going to go put both on the options bar, we're going to put both values, the X and F44, and then the Y at 44. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to do it again at 56 and 56. So we're going to hit enter twice and Control Alt T. And then we're going to go back to X and go 56 and 56. And you'll see I have the 3 stripes there. And I'm going to hit enter twice. Now we're going to copy the 3 smaller stripes and move them into the bottom right of the pattern. Select the path selection tool, which is the arrow right above the shape. Okay. And we're going to drag a box across the 3 shapes like so. Okay. With the 3 stripes selected, press Control Alt T or Command Option T to make a copy of them and open the free transform path command. Then in the options bar, set the X and Y to 150. So we're going to go ahead and Control Alt T, and we're going to go to the X and do 150 and the Y to 150. We're going to hit enter twice. And now you can see we've already kind of developed our candy cane pattern. Okay. We're going to change the color of that candy cane pattern. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and select rectangle 2 right here. And we're going to go up to the color fill. And we're going to select a green. But the way we're going to do it is we're going to change the H value to 120. So we're going to select right here and go 120. Okay. The S value, saturation, to 100. And the 250. We're going to hit OK. There we go. And there we are. Now we have and now the smallest stripes are green, while the larger stripes remain in red, completing our candy cane pattern. We created our candy cane pattern. Okay. Now, in order to create a pattern for this, we're going to define the shapes as a pattern. To turn the shapes into an actual pattern, a Photoshop pattern, go up to the Edit menu and choose Define Pattern. So we're going to go to Edit and Define Pattern, which is right towards the bottom. Okay. We're going to name it Candy Cane. All right. Candy cane. Excellent. And hit OK. All right. And at this point, our candy cane pattern is done. All right. Let's see how to apply it to some text and make the letters look more like candy. Um, I'm going to switch over to, I'm going to open up one of the background documents that I've given you. You can select any one you wanted. I have attached three of them that are already nicely, that have a great resolution. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and open that. Okay. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to hit File and Open. And I'm going to go to my downloads. I have my holiday background. And I'm going to hit Open. And there's my candy cane. Now we're going to use the Arial Rounded Empty Bold to write Happy Holidays. So I'm going to write Happy Arial Rounded, which is uh, empty bold right here. So in caps, Happy. Okay, I'm going to resize it like so. And then I'm going to do it with holidays. I'm going to resize it. Control T resizes it and try to make it about the same size. Make it nice and big like that. All right, so I have my two. I have it say Happy Holidays. I use the Arial Rounded MT Bold. They are in white. Okay. Um, if we look in my layers panel, we'll see that each word is on a separate type layer. I'll start by adding the candy cane effect to one of the words and then show you how to quickly copy the entire effect from one type to another. So we're going to do happy and then we'll do holidays, but we'll just basically copy and paste it. Okay, so start by selecting the type layer in the layers panel right here, holidays, um, and add a pattern overlay style. Okay, to create the candy cane effect, text effect, we'll use Photoshop's layer styles. Click on the layer styles icon on the FX at the bottom of the layers panel. We've been using this a lot lately, guys, the layer styles with the drop shadows. Um, we've used the stroke, we've used the color overlay, and now we're going to be using the pattern overlay. So we're going to go ahead and click the FX pattern overlay. And once you go, oh my, so sorry, I selected the holidays one. Switch this so it's all the same. So happy, layer six, pattern overlay. Okay. And we're going to, we have plenty of patterns. And if we go right here, we can actually see the candy cane one. Once we click on the little arrow right here, there's plenty of cool patterns that exist already. We have that candy cane one that we've selected, okay, that we created. Gonna go ahead and click on it, and it instantly fills. You can see it instantly goes over my words, okay? The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna use the scale slider below the swatch to adjust the size of the appearance of the pattern within the letter. Lower the values, lower scale values will shrink the pattern so it repeats more often. The value that works best will depend on the size of your text. So we're going to go ahead and lower the scale. You don't want to go too crazy, but they're saying around 68 is really good. So I'm going to go to 68. So you can just type it in 68. Perfect. And we're going to hit OK. All right. So now that's what the letters look like with the pattern scaled down in size. Okay. Um, Now we're going to add some more effects to these letters to make them look way more realistic, to give it that rounded, shiny look, like it looks like real candy cane, right? So to help separate the letters from the background, we'll add a drop shadow. Still in the layer style dialog box, we'll select shadow. So we're going to select the drop shadow. Okay. Um, Once we've selected the drop shadow, we're going to set the opacity to 35. Okay. We're going to use global light and set the angle to 120. So make sure, so this is going to be 120, all right? Make sure that the blend mode is on multiply. Make sure that this is set to black, okay? Um, let's see, make sure that I'll set the distance and size value both to 10. So distance to 10, size to 10, okay? And also make sure that the contour is the angled contour there, all right? And also make sure that there is no noise. All right. All right, so now you can see that shadow that kind of separates it from that background. Okay. So remember, multiply, black, the opacity is 35%, the angle is at 120, the distance is 10, spread is 0, size is 10, the contour is the angled contour, and noise is at 0. Okay. We're also going to add a thin stroke around the letters. So we're going to select stroke right here. Okay. In the stroke options, click the color swatch to change the color stroke. So we're going to go click on it. Uh, we're going to use the colors right here. And we're going to select in the color picker, set the H value, okay, to 350, the S value to 100, and the B value to 40. Okay. Then we're going to hit OK. We're going to set it to outside. The scale is to one pixel. Okay, very thin. All right. The blending mode is normal, and the opacity is at 100%. Right. All right. So that's just a very faint outline you can see around that letter. Okay. I'm going to hit OK. All right. So here's the text with the stroke applied. So far, the effect looks rather plain. We'll make the letters look rounded and shiny next. Okay. Next, we're going to add an inner glow. So we're going to select inner glow. Okay. I'm going to reset. The inner glow is actually already set, so we're good. So we select inner glow. Click on the color swatch right here for the inner glow. Okay. In the color picker, choose the same color we used to stroke by setting the H to 350. We're going to go to 350. All right. We're going to go to the S to 100. And we're going to do the B to 40. There we go. Perfect. And we're going to hit OK. All right. Make sure that the blending mode is on multiply. Okay. Make sure the opacity is 100. And increase the size value to around 24 pixels. So we're going to go to the size value. Make that 24. Okay. All right, so it's a little hard with the size, so we're gonna go lessen it a little bit. I'm gonna go a little less. I'm gonna put mine on 16. I'm gonna hit OK. There you can see it already starting to look a little more like candy. Okay, so like I said, you may need to experiment with the size value depending on the size of your text. The result you want is for the inner glow to extend from the outer edges of the letter inward to nearly their centers, which creates the illusion of roundness. Okay. Finally, to make the letters look shiny, select bevel and emboss in the FX. So we're going to go back to the FX, bevel and emboss. There we go. In the shading section of bevel and emboss options, click on the small arrow besides the gloss contour. So if you go gloss contour right down here, okay, let's hit reset to default first. We're going to hit the gloss contour, and we want to make sure to the ring. Yeah, the ring one, which is the second one right here. Okay. Um, Double clicking on the thumbnail. All right. Still in the same shading section, make sure to use the global light is selected. Leave the angle set to 120. So make sure that the global light is 120. Okay. Um, the highlight mode, lower the opacity to 0. Okay. To 0. Make sure it's on screen. Um, then for the shadow mode, change the blend mode to multiply. Shadow mode. Right there. Multiply, it's perfect. Then add the color swatch. So we're going to pick white. And then click OK. And lower the shadow to 22. Perfect. In the structure section at the top of the bevel and emboss, leave style set to inner bevel. So make sure the style is set to inner bevel at the top and technique set to smooth. Perfect. Then increase the depth to 180. So the depth should be 180. Okay. and the size to 24 pixels. As with some of the other options we've looked at, you may need to experiment with the depth and size depending on your text. So let's check and see what it looks like. Hmm. That's doing good, I think. I think we're good. So 180 and 24. So we'll do this 180. And this is 24. Perfect. All right. And we're gonna hit OK. Perfect. So click OK to close the layer style dialog box, and the candy cane text effect is complete. If we look at the layers panel, we'll see the layer styles that have been added to the type layer at the top. So that's a lot of layers. Okay. To copy the layer styles into another type, press and hold the alternate or in Windows or Option Mac on the keyboard, and then click on the word effects and drag it directly into the new layers. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to hold the alternate, and we click and drag it to the bottom one. Okay, so you just hold alternate, or you can right click and hit copy layer style and paste layer style. And there you go. We have our holiday text. Now you can see that in this document, both words have now been transformed into sugary, delicious candy cane holiday treats. And there you have it. That's how you create holiday candy cane text in Photoshop. All right, guys. The cool thing about it is that now you can copy and paste this into others. So if I wanted to resize the layers, also make them bigger or smaller, it will change a little bit, but maybe, oh, happy holidays with our candy cane text. All right, guys. Go ahead and save that and turn it in.